Hello, my name is Jason Lowry.
And I'm Mark Tody.
And we're back at the barn
Yeah!
for the Parkland Podcast.
Boom!
It's the Parkland Podcast with Jason and Mark. It's the Parkland Podcast with Jason and Mark. They got plenty to say. They got plenty of heart. On the Parkland Podcast with Jason and Mark. It's the Parkland Podcast. Yeah, the Parkland Podcast. It's the Parkland Podcast. Yeah, the Parkland Podcast with Jason and Mark. Jason and Mark.
Little chilly, won't lie, but that's okay.
Good weather for a penguin.
Yeah. With the way the weather is looking next week, Mark, we're definitely not going to be back here next week.
We appreciate Chad and the
Yeah.
barn so very much, but this is more of a spring, summer, fall location, not dead of winter.
Yeah, and it worked out great this summer and fall,
Yes.
I thought. So
Yes.
we'll be back here again shortly. So we just wanted to give you a little taste of the barn before we go back to the black wall that we have behind us, or have had for the last few podcasts. So this is episode 35, and coming up, we're going to talk to Farmington Schools Superintendent Dr. Kyle Gibbs. We'll talk about what's going on with the school district, as well as a levy and a bond issue that people will be voting on in April. Jeff Kreitz, I guess, can you say he's still wet behind the ears as St. Francis County Sheriff?
Maybe as sheriff, but that would be about it, because he's got so much law enforcement experience. He knows what he's doing. He's made some big moves already as sheriff, and we're going to find out all about those on the podcast.
So he'll be our guest coming up. Plenty of news, events, so much more. Always want to thank our wonderful sponsors. They are amazing, and they include Parkland Pharmacy, Discover Farmington, Save a Lot of the Parkland, Heimberger Construction, Subway, Ike's Revival Florist, the Pasta House Company,
Yes.
and Booze and Bark Carpet. Now, speaking of Ike's and Pasta House, they're the two sponsors for our Heart of the Parkland promotion.
What a
And
response.
Woo! This thing is going amazing. So the Heart of the Parkland, in case you're not a Facebooker, is a Facebook contest that we're doing. And we have been asking people that follow the Facebook page, people that just are on Facebook, post a picture of a deserving couple in the Parkland, and we will let people come onto that post, heart or like, or give some kind of an emoji for the picture of your choice, and the person that has the most reactions will win the prize package, which is a $100 gift card from Pasta House in Farmington. Nancy Sylvie,
Thank you, Nancy.
Amazing stuff. And Ike's Revival Florist, 1 dozen roses.
Nice.
Very, very good. So let me pull this post up here and kind of see who some of the people are who are
There's so
winning.
many.
We have 224 comments here at record time. And, some of those are just people tagging people. Let's see. The Dirty Rear podcast, our friends on the podcast network who have a really good show going about dirt track racing, which is huge in this area. They have 17 likes right now. Let's see. Mackenzie Martin's got 28. And, we could just go on and on. I think there was somebody that had over 50.
No, there's a couple that have well over 100.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Wow.
so-
Man.
It would take us all episode long to go through all of them. Go to Facebook, check them out. You see some really neat pictures. You'll see somebody you like,
Yeah.
and vote for them.
There you go. So, again, that's going to be wrapped up on February 12th. So I'm going to do a Facebook Live at 9 o'clock that night, and we'll pull up the page together, and we'll see who has the most likes. And then the next couple days, they could go to Ike's and go to Pasta House and collect their winnings just in time for Valentine's Day.
It's going to be a great thing. Thanks again to Ike's, and thanks again to the Pasta House for helping us out with this.
And then next big event after that will be election night coverage. That happens on April the 8th. I have some students in class right now, and they're doing stories about the election. They're doing stories about bond issues. I had a student sit down with Chris Morrison last week and do a big long video interview with him. So people are starting to inquire about what's happening. And Mark, we say it all the time. Elections like these really affect your day-to-day life.
You're going to find out who your mayor is, who your school board members are, who your city councilmen are. And in this case, the results of the bond issue and levy that's is going to be on the ballot in Farmington.
Yeah, so we'll be at Election Central that evening starting about 7 o'clock. We will give you those returns live on Facebook Live. Great follow, great way to keep up with what's going on. And we'll start talking about 7 o'clock, and we'll probably stop talking about 8:30, 9 o'clock maybe.
Roughly,
somewhere in
yeah.
there. We can do it. We're trained professionals, baby.
We're big mouths.
We're big mouths. We like to talk a lot. What'd you do this week? Anything exciting?
Nah, not really. Went to St. Joe State Park, got a good hike in, and really did some work for the United Way and the Senior Center, but normal week.
Normal week? Yeah, it's kind of a normal week for us. Had the sickness hit the house.
Yeah, it's going around.
It is going around. Poor old James got sick Sunday before his basketball game. So he missed the last 2 games of the year. But St. Joe B-Team boys, undefeated, perfect season, winning the conference championship. And then Jonas finishes the season on top as a champion, conference champion. They upset Valley Catholic in the championship game in overtime.
Good deal.
So Jonas won, and it was just a big week for him. And the kids, I think I stayed home from school Monday and Tuesday to stay home with Lucy and James. And then we found out James was positive for the flu and Lucy was negative, and I thought it was the other way around. So I was a little surprised there. James got to miss a whole week of school. He was very, very pleased with himself.
He didn't mind that at all.
No, not at all. So that's kind of what we did for the week. Got any music trivia?
I do.
Okay, good.
I do. All right. Some of these you'll know, some you may not.
Okay.
The poultry company Foster Farms did a commercial using chickens of this very popular power ballad from the 1980s.
Because I remember, when they're like, I'm just a love machine.
That's
and
not
I
it.
won't work for it. And there's like a chicken. Brrr.
Oh, this is all chickens.
This is all chickens.
And I have watched this commercial. It's hilarious.
Okay, no, I don't know.
Sister Christian by Night Ranger.
Oh, bark, bark, bark.
You really need... They covered the song with singing chickens.
Okay.
All right.
Check that out.
Lionel Richie has admitted that he made up a lot of the words in this classic hit.
That he made up a lot of the words?
He made up a lot of words.
Oh, gosh. Say you, say me.
All night long.
All night long.
It's got all the African words in there.
Oh, mamba deep, baby.
He said he was waiting for somebody to come back and give him some African terminology that he could use. The guy was taking so long, so he says most of those words that aren't English are just gibberish.
Okay, on All Night Long. Wow, interesting.
All right, the Rolling Stones changed the lyric to this song so they could go on the Ed Sullivan Show.
It was Let's Spend the Night Together.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And they changed it to Let's Spend Some Time Together. Is that what they did?
That's exactly right. And if you watch the video of it, you can see Mick Jagger and I think Charlie Watts, the drummer, roll their eyes when they changed the words, but they had to do it so they could get on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Absolutely. And then the Doors were supposed to change Light My Fire.
They didn't do it.
And they didn't do it.
No.
Yeah, I think they said Bite My Wire or something.
All right. One more.
Okay.
Celine Dion did a cover of what AC/DC song in concert?
Shook Me All Night Long.
That's it!
Yes.
Oh! I've watched that one too, and it's she did all right.
She did all right.
Although it was voted at one time as the worst cover in the history of covers. So
yeah.
But there you go. Just a little.
What was the one that Yoko Ono covered? That was the Money. She did Money by the Beatles. It was like she did it like on a little Casio keyboard. I need money.
She's got plenty of that.
She does, and still enjoying the money. Anything totally awesome radio-wise that comes to mind? Anything that happened to you back in the day?
No, I'm running out of totally awesome radio stories. I am quite sure there are plenty out there, but after 35 episodes, or basically one awesome story for every episode so far.
Yeah.
I'm starting to run dry.
It's a lot of awesomeness. And in the beginning, too, we were, really giddy about it.
We were
Sometimes
cherry picking.
We would throw in 2 or 3. So we might have used up some stuff.
Well, I could tell you about the time that Roy Henson stole all my equipment.
Yeah?
Doing the Tim Gray show from Spokes Pub and Grill. I got wrapped up and I loaded up all the equipment and I took it outside and I came back inside to do something and then I went back outside and it was all gone.
Uh-oh.
Roy had taken it. And about 2 or 3 minutes go by. I didn't know Roy had taken it. And 2 or 3 minutes had gone by and I was like, what am I going to do? And all of a sudden I get a call from Roy. It says, hey, do you want your equipment back?
No, go ahead and keep it.
All right, Roy, you're a funny guy. Funny guy.
Roy Henson, always good fodder for the totally awesome radio story. Let's talk about Parkland Pharmacy. They are local pharmacy at their finest. They have those 6 locations, of course, Deloge, Farmington, Fredericktown, Ironton, Piedmont, and Greenville. And they are ready to take care of you in the new year.
And this is a perfect time to talk about Parkland Pharmacy because this is the time of year where the cold and the flu season really takes charge. And boy, do they have everything for you, from cold and flu medicine to cough medicine, everything you need to keep yourself healthy through these cold winter months. You'll find at Parkland Pharmacy, along with some of the best customer service around.
Yeah, and those drivers are really making their money in these months here during the cold, but they take care of their customers everywhere.
And you don't even have to get out of your car at some of the locations like Farmington and I think Deloge. They've got the nice drive-through, which makes it really convenient.
Parkland Pharmacy, 6 locations there in Deloge, Farmington, Fredericktown, Ironton, Piedmont, and Greenville. Subway, eat fresh. There's probably not a better fast food restaurant to keep those healthy New Year's resolutions than Subway of the Parkland.
I'm not even sure I can call them fast food because it's just really good food. And the only thing better than the food are the people. Heather and Jessica, Brianna, Mike and Jake, who just celebrated his birthday in the past week.
We can't stress that enough, can we?
We cannot stress that enough, that Jake is now another year older. But they have wonderful Subway sandwiches, but they also have great soup. They also have cookies that are really good. And they have pizzas there, along with a lot of other choices. So when you come into Subway, be prepared to make decisions because there's a lot of good food to choose from.
And a new location coming soon to Farmington, too. So we'll be excited about that. But right now, located in the Maple Valley Center, everybody's looking at each other in the background. Whoa, new Subway? What? That's a few episodes we broke that. Anyways, check them out, Maple Valley Center, Farmington, downtown Park Hills, and inside the Walmart Supercenter in Deloge. Subway, eat fresh. Here's your news on the Parkland Podcast.
Parkland residents are raising concerns about a company that has started operations in part of the site that used to house Flat River Glass. Jason has more on that story.
ReWorld, a private energy from waste and industrial management service company, is located in the newest part of the former Paramount Glass facility. According to the company's website, the Park Hills location, which is listed as ReWorld St. Louis MPF, provides alternative fuels services. Social media concerns about the environmental and taxable impact on the community caused the city of Park Hills to issue a statement. Understanding potential community impacts is a standard part of our review of industrial operations in Park Hills. The city is considering positive impacts from this facility, such as new jobs, and weighing those with potential challenges, such as potential impact on our wastewater system. Specifically, ReWorld has committed to providing 21 jobs with an annual average salary of $80,000 for our community and a total capital investment of $6 million. Please note that the size of ReWorld operation is approximately 25% of the total usable space on the building. The release went on to say that the Park Hills location will not operate as an incinerator, and the facility will not process hazardous and or biomedical wastes. The materials handled at this facility will be strictly non-hazardous. ReWorld's website currently has one job listing open for the Park Hills location, a facility operations manager position that does not include a salary.
Well, if you've been under the weather lately, you're not alone. Local school districts are reporting higher than normal absentee numbers, even causing some local districts to take flu days off. Local urgent cares are also seeing a higher than normal number of patients. After a break in the winter temperatures, the Parkland is bracing up for another winter storm or two this week, with snow and ice in the forecast.
And St. Francis County elected officials will showcase each of their communities during the annual State of the County address. That will happen on Friday, February 21st, 8:30 in the morning at the Mac Tech Center. Presiding Commissioner Harold Gallagher will give an address, and elected officials from every St. Francis County community will give updates on their cities. The State of the County address is sponsored by our local chambers of commerce. And that's your news segment right here on the Parkland Podcast. New year, maybe a new building is coming for your facility. I would recommend Heimberger Construction, Mark.
Well, the examples are all around you to see the quality work they do, whether it's at MoCap, Pyramall, Crown Valley Winery, doesn't matter. Fantastic work done at a competitive price, and you get the Jennifer Heimberger difference. She is the driving force behind Heimberger Construction. She does a fantastic job. And I know you won't regret working with her and her team.
Plus, they have those Butler buildings. They're the best metal building system on the market, and the only buildings that have a pre-punched roof system and standard 360-degree roof seam for their standing seam roof. That means everything's nice and tight, it stays dry, and those buildings not only look great, but they also age well too, just like you, Mark Tody.
Yeah, maybe not quite like me. I leak from several different spots. That's another story for another time, though.
HeimbergerConstruction.com since 1978. Hey, big thanks to Save-A-Lot of the Parkland, sponsor of the Parkland Podcast. Mark, I need my Super Bowl goodies, and Save-A-Lot, great place to get everything I need.
They've got all your great snack ideas, but I'm kind of falling in love with their produce section.
Yeah?
Bought a big bag of oranges last week from them, and some bananas. And I picked up some chips and things like that. I know they're well known for their meat. Mm-hmm. They have some of the best meat. It's cut fresh daily, and the great service. But don't sell their produce section short either. I really just like going there and just looking around.
That's awesome. I was in there last weekend, and the 5 for $24.99 deal, it was a 6 for $24.99 deal. So keep an eye on the Facebook page. That's the Lead Belt Save-A-Lots, and you'll be able to see all those unique and different promotions that they do sporadically, and great way to save some money.
You can also sign up there at Save-A-Lot, and they will send you text and email reminders if you'd like, because I know I get one every week from them, and I always make sure to see what's special in case I want to go over there and take advantage of it.
Yeah, and there's some good deals,
yes,
so check it out. Save-A-Lot's the Parkland, Bonne Terre, DeSoto, Potosi, Park Hills, and Farmington, proud sponsors of the Parkland Podcast. Events time, events page presented by Discover Farmington. More than you ever imagined. DiscoverFarmingtonMo.com allows you to find out more about entertainment, dining, outdoor activities, wineries, and more.
Farmington, Missouri, your destination for a perfect weekend getaway. Dine in at one of our quality restaurants or visit one of our surrounding wineries. Farmington offers a variety of parks and other recreational leisure time activities. See some sights, have some fun, and go wherever your heart takes you. Sounds like a lot of fun, so get a room and stay a while. All this and more awaits you just 60 miles south of St. Louis. Discover Farmington today.
There's going to be a free meal, Mom's Cafe at the Methodist Church in Farmington this Wednesday evening. Grant applications are also available for the United Way of St. Francis County. The deadline is mid-March. You can go to unitedwayofsfc.org to find an application, or go to the United Way Facebook page or contact Suzanne Baker, the United Way Executive Director.
On February 14th, Heartbeat of Heaven Valentine's Dinner and Dance will happen at the Cardinal Center at Mineral Area College. Proceeds will go towards building materials for JKK organization as they fight against sex trafficking.
Ride the Love Train Trolley Tour, February 15th at 11, with stops at the Dewdrop Inn, Beige Farms, and Charleville.
On February 15th and 16th, the 13th annual Farmington Winter Basketball Tournament will be happening at the Farmington Civic Center. You can still register your team at mineralareabasketball.com.
Got some blood drives to tell you about. There's one on February 20th at Parkland Chapel Church at 1:30, on the 27th at the American Legion Hall in Farmington at 10, and on the 28th of this month at Farmington High School starting at 7:30.
February 22nd, check out Frosty Fest at Charleville Brewery and Winery. Sample beer, brewery tours, appetizers, and more. Tickets online at charlevillemO.com.
Twin Oaks Winery features the music of Mountain Mischief on February 22nd at 2 o'clock in the Glass House.
March 8th, Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, the musical. Purchase your tickets at the Farmington Civic Center, 7560900. $10 for adults, $6 for kids.
Mouse races take place at St. Joe Catholic School in Farmington on March 8th.
The 38th annual Mike O'Brien and Carol Moore Jazz Festival happening at Mineral Area College. That's Saturday night. Steve Wiest will perform. Tickets are $15.
The 4th annual Last Minor Riding Mountain Bike event is March 15th at St. Joe State Park.
The St. Francis County Rotary Club has their annual mouse races coming up March 15th, 6 o'clock in the Mac Tech building.
The Farmington High School Theater Guild presents The Addams Family, the musical, the 20th through the 23rd of March at 7 o'clock at Truman Auditorium.
And one more event to tell you about, April 26th, Elvis meets the Beatles.
Thank you very much.
And we're going to have an Elvis impersonator, and I think it's the Fab Lads, Beatles impersonators, and they're doing a show together at the Teen Center, April 26th, and you can save big on advance tickets. They're only $20 in advance and $30 at the door.
That's going to be a great event.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that a lot as it gets a little closer. But those are your events. They're presented by Discover Farmington. You can find out about local events, even book a wedding or a day trip at discoverfarmingtonmo.com. The Pasta House Company in Farmington, our newest sponsor of the Parkland podcast. They're on Valley Creek Drive in Farmington. Oh my gosh, they've had the Mark Toady special for many, many years. Did it change, or was it the same thing every time?
Oh no, it changed. It would change.
Okay.
I don't know that it's exactly there anymore. But let's do this over, because I don't even want to mention that. They don't do it anymore.
Okay. The Pasta House Company in Farmington on Valley Creek Drive. Mark, you are a loyal patron of the Pasta House, and you and Nancy go back a long way. We're so happy to have her as an advertiser, and man, what great food and service is available there all the time.
Love Nancy to death, and she loves to sit down and talk to you, but just don't put a microphone in front of her face.
Okay.
She does not like to talk on the radio, but the food at the Pasta House will sell itself. I try to get something a little different every time I go in, but then I get stuck on certain things. Like right now, their pork chops are just awesome. They are just phenomenal. The Mount Vesuvius salad is awesome. If you've ever had the Mount Vesuvius wings and you've ever had the salad, they combine the two of them, and it is amazing. Pasta con broccoli is awesome. The chicken parmesan is award-winning. Every now and then I'll buck up and get a steak because the steaks are really good. The bottom line is there's no such thing as a bad meal or bad service. Got to give a shout out to Shannon, by the way, when you go to the Pasta House in Farmington. I love that place.
We love to go get salad and rolls. That's like
The rolls are awesome.
Any kind of family event. And they're like, hey, get Pasta House salad and rolls. And it works out great. They can cater for any size event.
And don't forget, with Valentine's Day right around the corner, what better place to take your sweetheart than the Pasta House?
Pasta House Company in Farmington, fine sponsors of the Parkland podcast. Ike's Florist in Farmington has been a tradition. They have so much quality. They have the beautiful arrangements, but they're under new ownership now, Mark, and they are called Ike's Revival Florist. And very exciting to see what Macy and Philip Kreitler are going to do with this wonderful historic business.
Boy, I wish Macy a happy birthday for so many years on the radio. We wished her a happy birthday not too long ago on the podcast, but it's a beautiful store. And boy, I'll tell you what, with Valentine's Day coming around, a beautiful floral arrangement would be perfect for that special someone in your life. But it's not just floral arrangements. They have lots of great gift ideas and knickknacks, something for everyone. If you like to go in to a store and just shop around and kind of get lost in the atmosphere, that's the place to do it. They're easy to find right off Karsh Boulevard, and Macy and Philip are two awesome people. You will definitely like the experience of going into Ike's Revival Florist.
Yeah, full-service florist and cozy market for all things wholesome. They brought in a lot of new and different items, very unique gifts. So if you're looking for a unique gift for that special somebody on Valentine's Day, or maybe you've recently had a death in the family, all kinds of great sympathy gifts and items in that store as well. Plus, before you know it, these seniors are going to be graduating, so there's all kinds of neat graduation gifts in there as well. And I love their website, ikesflorist.com. Very easy to use. Everything's laid out very nicely. You can see the floral arrangements. They also have a great Facebook page, Ike's Revival Florist. Check them out today. Let's do some birthdays. These are your birthdays, anniversaries for the week of February 10th.
Hey, happy birthday to Kathy Grogan.
Kathy!
Yes. She helped lead the Relay for Life in St. Francis County for a couple of years back in the day. Just a great gal. She's also the sister, and I didn't really honestly know this until a couple of years ago, of Colleen Gallagher.
Really?
Colleen K from Route 67.
Right, yeah.
So, Kathy, happy birthday wishes to you. She can sing a little bit just like her sister.
She can, yes.
We also want to say happy birthday to Melissa Davis. She is married to Kevin Davis. He is the pastor of the Open Heart Assembly Church. So, Melissa, happy birthday wishes to you.
Excellent. And happy birthday, Kathy. The shared blessings that she worked a lot with Shelley in that organization over the years.
She had a support group, too.
Had support groups. She had the medical equipment loaner program. If there was ever a need in the area, Kathy Grogan is definitely always one of those people willing to step in and help out. I want to wish a happy birthday to my cousin Norman Lowry. He's a big shot in Bismarck. He's on the school board.
Whoa!
I don't know if Norman. I don't know if this is your term to run for re-election or not. But happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great day, and I hope Slick doesn't play any jokes on you. Patty Perryman having a birthday today. Patty and Jim used to live 2 doors down from me when I was a little kid. And 2 daughters, Karen and Kathy, and that were my age. They had some other kids that were younger than me. They weren't around yet. But Karen and Kathy would knock on my door at 6:30. We'd all eat breakfast together and watch Gilligan's Island every day.
Time well spent.
Yeah. It was a great childhood memory. Happy birthday, Patty. Hope you're having an awesome day. And Jason Clark celebrated a birthday on Monday. And then real quickly, forgot a birthday, Morgan Short.
Morgan.
Farmington High School senior, had a birthday on Sunday. Happy birthday.
Happy
to
birthday,
you,
Morgan.
What do you got for Tuesday, February 11th?
Tuesday, our good buddy Andy Eck has a birthday from Gifford Lumber Company, or as I like to call him, Andy What the Heck Eck.
Whoa.
Happy birthday to you, Andy. He's probably celebrating on a boat somewhere. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Michelle Menley. Michelle used to work at the radio station. She was in sales for a bunch of years, and she went to the Daily Journal, and she's just an all-around Nice gal. Michelle, happy birthday to you. And Melissa Workman, happy birthday to you, Melissa. She did a lot of work with the Farmington Museum when they were trying to get that all started. She helped out with that, did a couple radio interviews with her. Happy birthday to you, young lady. Hope you're doing good. I think she's living in San Diego now.
Nah, good for her.
Better, yeah. Right now, yeah.
Happy birthday, Katrina Walker. And she's on the United Way board with you, right?
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Katrina and the Wave. She's doing a great job. I love that gal.
Yeah, and did a great job at Farmington, too. Happy birthday to you. Kyle Rickard, a man they call Special K, celebrating a special day on February 11th. Happy birthday, buddy. And Ed Scroggin, Easy Ed, worked with him at the Daily Journal back in the day. Sent him a text, I think it was right around Thanksgiving. And good to hear from him. His grandkids are all in high school now, and he's got exciting stuff going on, watching them grow up. Happy birthday, Ed. I hope it's an awesome day. What about Wednesday, February 12th?
Wednesday, Courtney Schnuzzle, happy birthday to you, young lady, from Heather and Brianna and Jessica and all your family. Hope you are doing fantastic. Dustin Kopp celebrates a birthday. He's doing a great job at B104 and KFMO. Happy birthday to you, Dustin. And Giovanni Azoni celebrates a birthday. He's from Brazil, and he attended Mineral Area College back in the day and was a team manager for the Mineral Area College basketball team. And he had this thick Brazilian accent.
Right.
And I used to put him on the air every now and then and interview him just to hear the accent. So now he's married, got a couple kids. Giovanni, happy birthday to you, buddy.
Awesome. You've had a few tongue twister names to say in your MAC basketball broadcasting career.
One year they had 2 or 3 guys that were from the former Yugoslavia, and I forget which one of those countries.
Sure.
And it was like I was reading a War and Peace novel just to get them get their names straight on the radio, but I managed somehow.
Happy birthday Wednesday to Farmington baseball legend Robbie Thurston. Happy birthday, buddy. Hope it's an awesome day for you. And Greg Cooley, the eldest of the Cooley brothers, celebrating a birthday on Wednesday. Happy birthday, Greg. Who do you have for Thursday, February 13th?
Lots of birthdays and anniversaries. We're going to do a little flashback to the old Blackwell Motors days.
Oh, no.
Because Dylan Dan Tinsley celebrates a birthday on Thursday, as does his good buddy Frank Campbell, your friend in the car business. Happy birthday to both you guys. Always a great help for us in the live ad area.
Yeah, no doubt.
Rob Johnston went to high school with Rob. He's aged much better than me. Happy birthday to you from Patty, your boys, and all your family. Happy birthday wishes to Dan Combs. This would be Junior.
Okay.
The lean, mean banking machine and the
councilman?
runner. And I don't think he's a councilman anymore.
Okay.
Anyway, happy birthday. I think it's his dad. That's a councilman.
Oh, Dad's on the board.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Happy birthday to you, Daniel.
Okay.
Happy birthday wishes to Jason McDaniel, knowing him for a good long time. And Stephanie Hatfield, who is a bigwig with the American Cancer Society, and I worked with her rather closely for a bunch of years with the Relay for Life. Stephanie, happy birthday wishes to you.
Want to wish a happy birthday to former Central Rebel girls basketball coach. Now he's the, athletic director, or he's a counselor at St. Pius in Festus. Huge fan of the podcast. Loves everything we do. Ken Halter, happy birthday, Ken. Hope it's an awesome day for you. John Barlow celebrating a birthday on Thursday. Glenn Butcher at Save-A-Lot.
Oh, cool.
I can't remember which one he's at, but he was at J98 for a while, and he had a tremendous radio voice, and I think he did some sales too. And then Troy Skinner, former student of mine, celebrating a birthday on Thursday. Can I tell a quick Troy Skinner stink bomb story?
Go for it.
Okay, so we're getting ready to go on COVID break in the year 2020. And the last day of unit, I think we knew we were going to be off for a week. We didn't know we were going to be off for the rest of the school year at that point. We were still kind of worried about that. But so a few days earlier in that week, Troy shows me that his Amazon package has arrived, and he has these stink bombs coming to his house, and he's real excited to play some pranks with them. And so the Potosi bus comes to Unitech on that Friday. And all of a sudden, the bus has to stop because there is a horrendous smell. They're afraid they hit a skunk or maybe some animal climbed into the machinery. It was the stink bomb. So they get all the kids off the bus. They get a new bus. They start that back to Unitech, and guess what happens?
Another one
goes off. So they come to Unitech, and by this time, all the teachers, everybody, hey, Potosi's late today, blah, blah, blah. Their bus hit a skunk. And so I'm thinking, oh, Troy. And then we get to school, and Troy looks at me, and I look at him, and I go, you did it, didn't you? And he goes, yeah. And so he got in trouble, but they never did anything to him because school got canceled. Attaboy, Troy. Happy birthday to you. Hope it's an awesome day. What about Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day?
Well, it's a sweetheart of a day, but I have no birthdays for Friday or Saturday.
Okay, well, I got birthdays and anniversaries for both. On Friday, I want to say happy birthday to Vicky Weibel. Vicky, longtime,
yes.
What was she? Was she the circuit clerk?
Yeah, something like that.
Circuit clerk. I know, not county clerk.
Elections, I know that.
Yeah, Vicky was awesome, fantastic to work with, and I know she's enjoying her retirement right now. Happy birthday, Vicky. Sarah Miller celebrating a birthday on Valentine's Day, and Andy Strickland with a birthday on Valentine's Day. All right, before I get to the Saturday birthdays, this is a big one. Happy 50th wedding anniversary to Al and Evelyn Lowry.
Gee, where do I know them from?
Yeah, my mom and dad. So they'll be married 50 years on Saturday, and I will turn 50 on Halloween.
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah?
I didn't even think your mom was 50 years old.
I know, right?
Wow.
She's going to have a 50-year-old son. She's got a big birthday coming up this year, too. We'll talk about that in October.
She's turning 50 as well?
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But congratulations, Al and Evelyn, 50 years. That is impressive, and we're going to celebrate you on Saturday night.
I could tell the story about the time I saw you and your dad at Spokes Pub and Grill have a beer drinking chugging contest.
Who won?
I don't remember. It was pretty close.
No, Dad won.
Your dad looked at you and said, "Are you ready?" And you said, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden I saw boom. And I said, I was impressed.
Yeah, but Dad won, no doubt about it. I think I could beat him now, but it'd be much more of a struggle because I don't do as well with that either. Saturday, February 15th, birthdays. Want to wish a happy birthday to Adam Bowers. He's a shop teacher at North County High School. Happy birthday, Adam. Hope you're having an awesome day. One of our most global listeners, Michael Jensen. Mikkel listens to us in Denmark.
Nice.
And then whenever he gets, he's a diplomat for the country, and then sometimes he ends up in like different countries, and he will be listening to the podcast when he gets his next assignment. So happy birthday, Mikkel.
Cool.
Hope you and Hivy and all the kids are doing awesome. Linda Sharon. Linda did a lot of work locally. I don't know if it was Relay for Life, but it was one of those events, and then had the Sharon Funeral Home in Bonne Terre for many years. Linda with a birthday on Saturday. And then we got another Save-A-Lot butcher, Jason Walker, celebrating a birthday on Saturday. That's from Clint and everybody in the meat department there. And then we wrap it up for Sunday, February 16th. You got some birthdays for this day, I know.
I do. One of my favorite people ever that I worked with at J98, Missy Tripp.
Yeah.
Celebrates a birthday on Sunday. They're our favorite people, and then they are our favorite people. She is one of my all-time favorites. I'm so happy that I got the chance to work with her. So, Missy, happy birthday to you from your husband, Jeff, and your 4 kids. And I believe her oldest son is getting ready to get married.
All right.
I'm losing track of time with all that. But anyway, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday wishes going out to Stephanie Efren. I took her back in the day to a St. Louis Cardinals playoff game against the Mets where Rick Ankiel threw the 18 wild pitches in 2 innings.
I was at that game too.
Yeah, I got the tickets to that. I said, wow, boy, I sure know how to impress a girl here, don't I? Anyway, Stephanie, happy birthday to you. Shauna Robinson.
Yes.
Celebrates a birthday. And we actually, well, you didn't because you're too young, but I actually worked with Shauna. I hired her to work part-time at J98 back in the day. She worked for a semester. She was just dating John Robinson at that time. But happy birthday to you, Shauna. I once made the joke that I taught her everything she knows about radio. which is why she shifted over to newspaper. Val Harrington, happy birthday to you. She was Valerie Schwent back in the day. She used to come to the Relay for Life every year, and she won a hula hoop contest when she was like 8 or 9 years old at Relay. Now she's married and got, I think, 2 kids now. So, Val, happy birthday to you. Leslie Boozenbark, happy birthday to you from all the Boozenbark clan. And Miranda Spangler celebrates a birthday. I believe she used to be the FFA instructor at Farmington High School back in the day. Now she's out in the western side of the state. Happy birthday to you, Miranda.
Happy birthday to Candy Easter, celebrating a birthday on Sunday. Happy birthday from the hubby and the kids. Hope it's a great day for you. And Chuck Dice. Chuck was on the original podcast that basically spawned the Barn Network called the Chris Sabo Power Hour.
Nice.
And Chuck was kind of the funny guy on that show. And now Chuck's kind of back in the fold with the Barn. I saw where he was part of I think an AFC, NFC championship game wrap-up they did on the Barn Network. So happy birthday, Chuck. Hope it's an awesome day for you. So there you go. Those are your birthdays for the week of February 10th. Boozenbark Carpet, Boozenbark Trailer Sales, BoozenbarkFlooring.com, the website. You know the name. They've been at it for so long, and there's a reason why they continue to do it and do it well, because they know what they're doing when it comes to those areas that they are experts in. And don't just take it from us. Other people have the same opinion.
Yeah, I'm on the BoozenbarkFlooring.com website, and I'm reading some of the reviews. The whole process from start to finish was very easy. The countertops are beautiful. That was one review. They did a wonderful job with our granite countertops. I highly recommend them. Amazing work with Boozenbark. Oh my gosh, Blair is very professional and an asset to her company. Beautiful place, quality flooring materials and installs. Brock was our salesman and was just fantastic, and I could go on and on and on. Don't take our word for it. Those are actual customers of Boozenbark Flooring talking about how great they are.
Hey, great time to get that project started now to spruce up your home so it's nice and beautiful for the spring coming up when you have folks come over. So check out everything that you can get at boozenbarkflooring.com and wave at us on the billboard.
Yes, I love that.
What's the thing you do? I think you like point or something.
Yeah, well, I don't know what we're doing, but
we're having a good time. So big thanks to boozenbarkflooring.com. Go check them out today. New year, maybe a new building is coming for your facility. I would recommend Heimberger Construction, Mark.
Well, the examples are all around you to see the quality work they do, whether it's at MoCap, Pyramol, Crown Valley Winery, doesn't matter. Fantastic work done at a competitive price, and you get the Jennifer Heimberger difference. She is the driving force behind Heimberger Construction. She does a fantastic job, and I know you won't regret working with her and her team.
Plus, they have those Butler buildings. They're the best metal building system on the market, and the only buildings that have a pre-punched roof system and standard 360-degree roof seam for their standing seam roof. That means everything's nice and tight, it stays dry, and those buildings not only look great, but they also age well too, just like you, Mark Tody.
Yeah, maybe not quite like me. I leak from several different spots. That's another story for another time, though.
HeimbergerConstruction.com since 1978. Here are your sports on the Parkland podcast. We begin with Monday. Girls basketball scores. Fredericktown a winner over North County. Central beats Farmington. Bismarck defeats West County. Arcadia Valley a win over Kingston. And St. Paul defeats Crystal City. Boys basketball for Monday. Herculaneum defeats West County. And Crystal City tops St. Paul. Tuesday, girls action. Bunker a winner over Bismarck. The rest boys games from Tuesday. St. Genevieve, a winner over North County. Farmington beats Fredericktown. Potosi down Central. West County, a winner over Kingston. Valley Catholic beats Bismarck, and Valley of Caledonia defeats Arcadia Valley. Wednesday, girls games. Potosi tops St. Genevieve. Farmington, a win over Cape Central, and Grandview defeats Valley of Caledonia. Thursday, girls basketball. Bismarck beats Jefferson. Arcadia Valley a win over St. Pius. St. Paul gets past Clearwater. Fredericktown defeats Woodland. South Iron a win over Kingston. And Windsor defeats St. Genevieve. Boys finals from Thursday. Valley Catholic defeats Central. Potosi beats Arcadia Valley. South Iron gets by Kingston. And Clearwater defeats St. Paul. Friday, girls basketball. Bunker a win over Central. Chaffee beats St. Paul. And in boys games, Windsor defeats North County. Ellington a win over Bismarck. And McKinley defeats St. Paul. Saturday, the MAAA Conference Tournament got underway. Here's your boys' first-round games. Valley Catholic a win over North County. Central advances, defeating Bismarck. Arcadia Valley gets past St. Genevieve. And Kingston a win over Valley of Caledonia. 3 games played on the girls' side. First round of the MAAA Conference Tournament Saturday. Bismarck beats Valley of Caledonia. St. Gen a win over West County. And North County defeats Kingston. Now for wrestling from the week. On Wednesday, boys wrestling, St. Genevieve tops Cape Central. And in girls, St. Gen also with a win over Cape Central. Thursday, boys wrestling, North County defeats Central. Rolla win over Farmington. And then Valley Catholic takes a pair, defeating Dexter and Kelly. One girls wrestling match from Thursday sees Central defeat North County. Friday, girls wrestling, the Central Invitational. St. Genevieve comes in first, Potosi second, and Central fourth. And then on Saturday, the boys wrestling, the Central Invitational, sees St. Genevieve win that one too. North County comes in second, and Central comes in sixth. And then Valley Catholic on Saturday finished third in the Lift for Life tournament. Now to Mineral Area College sports. The Lady Card softball team saw their season begin on Tuesday, and they would take a pair from Dyersburg State. Wednesday, the men and women's basketball teams both in action, and they take down St. Louis Community College. The men win by 3. The women win 116-127. College baseball from Friday. Mineral Area defeats Southwest Mississippi 10-6. And then Saturday, all the programs in action. Men's basketball defeats Three Rivers by 2, 56-54 to sweep that series. The ladies fall, though, to the Lady Raiders, 80-46. And Mineral Area College baseball team splits a doubleheader with Southwest Mississippi, winning the first and falling in the second. Those are your sports for the week of February 3rd, right here on the Parkland Podcast.
Follow the dot at Save-A-Lot. I don't know if there's been any busier people to start off the year than the hardworking folks at Save-A-Lot, as everybody needs their bread, milk, and eggs. But, man, what a great place to go. What a great place to shop. And what a great place to save money.
What I like about Save-A-Lot, in addition to the great selection of food that they have there, is just how clean the stores are as well. They take a lot of pride in cleanliness, and they take a lot of pride in saving you some money. So definitely follow the dots. Go to their Facebook page. I know they just gave away like $100 worth of bacon, and I can vouch for the bacon at Save-A-Lot because we just had a bunch of it cooked up at our last men's club meeting at St. Paul Lutheran Church. It was so good. I didn't want to eat anything else. I said, just keep bring me bacon. Bring me Save-A-Lot bacon. It was so good. Clint, you guys do a fantastic job at all your different stores, and we look forward to working with you in 2025.
I love the 5 for $24.99 deal. That's a great way to feed my family and a great way to feed yours. So make sure you head over to your local Parkland Save-A-Lot. They're in Bonne Terre, DeSoto, Potosi, Park Hills, and Farmington.
Few businesses in the Parkland have the reputation for quality and beauty like Ike's Florist, and new owners Macy and Philip Kreitler are continuing the tradition of great customer service and quality floral arrangements. Introducing Ike's Revival Florist, Farmington's full-service florist and cozy market for all things wholesome. Still on Karsh Boulevard in Farmington. Unique gifts to show thanks and congratulations and love. Order online at ikesflorist.com and follow them on Facebook. Ike's Revival Florist.
At the Pasta House in Farmington, you'll not only get great food, but great service as well. From the pastas to the seafood, steaks, sandwiches, salads, and even burgers, the decision to eat at the Pasta House is easy.
but choosing what to eat may be a little bit more difficult. But one thing is for sure, when you dine at the Pasta House, you'll leave full and you'll leave happy. That's the Pasta House in the Maple Valley Center in Farmington.
Let's join the new St. Francis County Sheriff, Jeff Kreitz. There's a new sheriff in town. Are you getting tired of people using that joke on you?
Oh, it's not bad. I've heard it a lot.
Yeah, I bet. But thanks so much for joining us. Last time we talked to you, we were in Engler Park. It was a little bit warmer then, involved in that campaign. 6 months ago, I'm sure at times that seems like a decade ago, and sometimes it seems like yesterday. How has the whirlwind of all these life-changing events been for you and the family over the last 6 months or so?
We're getting adjusted to it.
Yeah?
It's not bad. It's kind of enjoyable right now, getting things changed, getting things implemented, taking over a new position that's been held for a very long time. So, yeah, enjoying it.
Jeff Kreitz, our guest today on the Parkland podcast. Have you enjoyed the first 6 weeks, or have you been too busy learning stuff?
It's been very busy, getting adjusted to it, like I said, getting into a routine. There are some other things that, with the sheriff that you just don't know until you get in there and you get your hands dirty and find out, this is a function that he's responsible for, or we need to do this. Over the plans that I had, there's the day-to-day operations. So, we're getting adjusted to it quite well.
Talk a little bit about the staffing. I mean, it's tough. No matter what industry you're in, it's tough to find people good people to work for your company. How are things looking staffing-wise? And then specifically, I wanted to ask you about the jail navigator position, too, because I know that's going to be a big boost for the jail.
We have a great staff, office staff, detention, deputies. We are currently down one road deputy. That's all. We're almost at full strength. We stopped taking applications on the 31st, and the hiring process will be starting probably Monday. We'll start doing interviews. So can't say enough about our staff. The kitchen staff, we didn't lose anybody with the transition. There were a few that already had positions outside our agency prior to taking over, but all the staff was retained, and so we're great there. Can't ask for better. As far as the jail navigator, we just recently filled that position. Anna Denny, she came to us from juvenile division many years from, I believe, Madison County, she's hitting the ground running. I think it's going to be a great position. If you don't know what the jail navigator does, she is going to evaluate inmates and help them get the resources while they're in custody, and also the resources outside the agency to keep the recidivism down. And what is the common denominator here? What do they need? How can we get them the resources so we can stop? Some are mental, some are substance abuse, some are just simple things. Didn't have a birth certificate, or things of that nature. We can help them get the resources to keep them from coming back into the system.
So I guess one of the big challenges you've had in the first 6 weeks has been the weather, with the 2 storms that already hit and more severe weather on the way. That has challenges for everybody, including law enforcement.
Yes, and I've got to say, the first 2 weeks were 2 major winter storms. The first one was the ice.
Yeah.
We got with our emergency management director. We put out a lot of social media. If you don't have to get out, stay home. MoDOT and County Road and Bridge, I think, did an excellent job with that ice coming, and they were prepared. We were fortunate that I think the first 36 hours, we did not have one accident call.
Wow.
So people did stay home.
Good.
But we responded. I think that first storm was about 26 slide-off accidents that were minor. We had a few that were serious, but all in all, the citizens heeded that warning and stayed home. And plus, it was on a weekend. That helped also.
Well, yeah. But if there's a call for service, a break-in, some kind of crime, your guys got to navigate. Your people have to navigate that weather too.
We have to go. We have to respond safely.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned social media, and when you talked about campaigning for this position, that was one of the things that you wanted to do, was to become more active on the social media, get the message out there a little better. In your mind, how's that gone so far for you?
I think it's going well. It's still a learning process. I have some plans that may be coming out here recently. I don't want to disclose it yet. I want to look at some legalities, but yeah, I think social media, we've been doing some transparency things, letting the citizens know what we're doing. We put out some numbers for January on our calls for service, and I think I've got a good response on that. People like to know what their sheriff's department's doing and what we're involved with.
So does crime go down this time of year with bad weather? I mean, we always say, well, crooks don't want to get out in this either.
Right. We do see a little bit of a decline. There, when the weather is warm, everybody's out moving. There's more opportunity, more vehicles moving. Just the society in general, when it's warmer, they're out and about, and the crime does kind of increase. I guess sometimes the temper gets a little hotter when the temperatures get hotter.
Yeah, could be.
So.
One of the first things that you had to deal with, your department had to deal with, was a big police chase that started in Iron Mountain Lake, ended up in Leadington, had a little bit of a manhunt. I believe the college was on lockdown at one point. Your deputies were able to obviously arrest the 4 people that were charged in this case. Is it just me, or does it seem like criminals are more apt to flee now? What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know what we can contribute that to. It could be the book and release, the bail reform, maybe, that they're not as worried about getting apprehended. Some agencies do not have a pursuit policy, so they know that they don't have to stop or won't stop. Right now, our policy is to pursue. There again, you have to measure everything. Is it the means justify the ends?
Mm-hmm.
You know, do we need to terminate this? Can we identify the person? Is it worth risking injury to someone by continuing the pursuit? What time of day is it? What are the weather conditions? What is the pursuing officer's driving capabilities? Have they been trained? So you got to weigh all that. Mm-hmm. But yes, that incident came to a great conclusion. That was multiple agencies were involved. Everybody worked well together. That investigation is still ongoing, so I can't disclose much on that. But yes, we did lock down the Mineral Area College just because we couldn't identify these gentlemen.
Right. They were, I guess, we later learned they were from Chicago area, I believe,
yes.
and
out of state. They were out-of-state vehicles, rental vehicles, so we couldn't identify them. We didn't know who they were, what their intentions were. So as a safety precaution to the students, because this was of an evening, we locked down the campus.
And then I guess were spike strips used?
Yes.
Is that, and so kind of talk a little bit about that. I don't know, maybe I've been talking about it, and my Facebook's showing me these videos, and like it's basically like a police officer, and he's on the side of the road, and like you throw something out into the road and that kind of deploys. Kind of talk about how those work and how your staff does them.
Well, they're a tire deflation device. Okay. So if you think about just a straw, like a drinking straw, but imagine that as being a stainless steel.
Okay.
So, and it has a point, and when a violator drives across that, it punctures the tire and slowly releases the air. So it's not an instantaneous deflation. It may take a mile or so, but it slowly lets that air out of the tire. If you don't have tires, you can't go anywhere, or not very fast. And usually it'll disable the vehicle if they continue to drive on the rims. And yes, but we did, spikes were deployed. These individuals were not stopping. And that's ultimately what got them out of the vehicle.
Right.
And then a foot pursued, and then the small manhunt.
So, Sheriff,
go ahead. How hard is it to deploy those? Because obviously you don't want to deflate anybody else's tires out on the roads, right?
That, unfortunately, sometimes there is some collateral damage.
Yeah.
I do know that with the frigid temperatures, there are some plastic parts on these expandable spike strips, and they did, I don't want to say explode, but when a vehicle went over them, they did kind of come apart.
Oh, okay.
And we did have just a small amount of collateral damage, which the Sheriff's Department took responsibility for and fixed.
So throughout your campaign running for sheriff, I know you and the other candidates probably heard this about as much as anything, is the homelessness situation, drugs, and mental health, and how in many cases they're all kind of interrelated. Have you had a chance to really address any of that yet?
We've had a couple community meetings that we're looking at alternatives, what we can do. You know, there are some resources out there. The jail navigator, for instance, she'll be working in that position as well to help, you know, the substance abuse, any mental illness and or homelessness. Because we see these people just continually cycling through for minor charges. We want to break that cycle. So, yes, to get back to your question, we have had some meetings on this. There are some resources out there, but we have to understand also sometimes these people do not want the help. Mm-hmm. They would prefer to live the way they're living, and we can't force them to go to some of these resources. We can offer them, but if they don't want them, we can't make them take it.
As with everybody, there are scam calls, there are scam things that happen. I believe on the Facebook page recently, there was a post about somebody saying they were calling from, I think, the St. Francis County Jail, and inmate number blah, blah, blah doesn't have enough money in their lunch account, and we need to take some money from you. Your agency does not do that, correct?
We do not. Matter of fact, I had a gentleman call me yesterday and say he received a call and wanted to verify that. And no, we will not call you to request money to put on an inmate's books. That's between the inmate and their family or friends or whatever, but not from us.
And no policeman's ball. Sometimes I've heard of like scams where they're selling tickets to the policeman's ball.
No, we won't do that. We do the shop with the cop,
right?
But you can verify that.
That's That's usually if people are making a donation, that's done face to face, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So going back to the issue of the homelessness for just a second, I understand what you're saying about not being able to help people if they don't want the help. But what about for residents who wake up in the morning and look out their back window and there's two people sleeping in their backyard or something like that? Is there anything that can be done to help them?
The resident?
Yes.
Well, definitely call your police department, your local agency, or whatever your jurisdiction is. They will come out, they will check these people for warrants or anything, and there again, at that point, maybe get them in touch with some resources, remove them from the property. If it becomes a habitual thing, they could look at trespassing, which is in some cities or municipalities is an infraction or a misdemeanor, and then they're in the system. They come to the jail, and then, but yes, call your local agency, whatever jurisdiction you reside in, and they will come check them out. Move them on somewhere else.
Have you become affiliated with the Missouri Sheriff's Association yet?
Yes, I have. Prior to being sworn in, went and spent 2 weeks at a training session with tenured sheriffs, telling us, taking them under their wing and teaching us. It's called New Sheriff's Training, and it was very informative. Great contacts. So. They started a program, I think, this year. Our class of 24, was given a mentor, sheriff, to check in on us, see how we're doing, help us along the way till we get up and running. So it's been beneficial.
What are some big priorities? Are you still in the process of lining those out?
We have some projects that are currently going on right now. We're updating and renovating the jail. Fixing some things that are broke, just getting it back into a better condition. We're doing one pot at a time, so kind of like Johnny Cash,
right.
our tank, we'll get one tank at a time or one pod
yeah.
at a time. So, because we have to move inmates out of that pod while we renovate it and then move them back in. So we're doing that. We're in the preliminary phase of looking at, and I know I mentioned this in the campaign, but a north substation. Mm-hmm. We're in the preliminary stages of that, working with the Road and Bridge Department and the commissioners. We're looking at an area just south of Bonne Terre, right there on the highway, where the north barn is for the Road and Bridge.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So,
right there by the roundabout.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts about bringing back in federal prisoners?
We're looking at that. I'm looking at a cost analysis right now. We're going to have to spend some money and some funding, but is it going to be worth it in the end? It is a revenue source. Mm-hmm. However, we're going to have to spend quite a bit. We'll have to get the jail to a certain level. We're going to have to increase our staffing because the federal inmates require certain things that we can't give them right now. So you're going to have to spend. Is it worth spending for the amount of revenue we're going to get? So we're still looking at that.
Okay,
it's not off the table, but
yeah. Are you prepared for your first big press conference where all the St. Louis stations are coming in, all the flashing lights are up there? Have you thought about that when you have to give one of those big press conferences?
It's going to be like talking to you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Good. I hope so.
I've given a couple in my career. I've had to give a couple to the St. Louis media.
Right. Yeah.
It's just telling the story, telling the facts, and telling what we can release. They may not like the story. I may not like giving the story.
Sure.
But it is what it is, and I have to own it.
Yeah. Any fears of like saying something and going viral? Or would that be? I guess if you say the right thing and it goes viral, that'd probably be pretty cool. Yeah.
Sure.
No bites to the biscuit or anything like that.
No. Yeah. I guess if you say something and it goes viral, you're not going to be able to pull it back.
Right. Yeah.
Like I said, you're just going to have to own it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're going to do just fine with that.
Well, thanks.
I have the utmost faith in you. Anything else going on with the sheriff's department, with the county that we want to get out there before we let you go?
Just recently, I got to thank the commission and our fleet manager. We just recently purchased 5 new vehicles, updating our fleet. We're still driving some Crown Victorias that are getting some very high mileage, and we're able to keep them on the road due to maintenance and everything. But a couple of the vehicles we bought were prior model years, so we saved quite a bit by doing that. They're brand new. They were just leftover stock, and we're able to, I think, 4 Ford Explorers and a transport van, and we'll probably be doing some more. So that was one of our things we've just done. Still meeting with all the employees. Right. I'm slotted 94 employees throughout the jail and the sheriff's department, and just getting time to meet with them.
Right.
Timing's the hardest thing. Just getting that time to sit down with them and discuss what their goals are, where they want to be, if they're enjoying their job, how can we make it better, and getting advice from them because they're doing the job. They know what they need.
The bottom line is it's been really quiet since the start of January, and really that's what you want, though. Really, is
you're going to jinx me by saying that. But no, I think the citizens need to be thanked for that.
Yeah, sure.
We have slow days just like any other business, and we're not a business, but you'll have slow days, but you'll have busy days. But right now it has been. Our numbers have dropped just a little bit, which is great.
Very good. Sheriff, appreciate your time so much. And
always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Always good seeing you guys.
We'll do this here, I'm sure, in the next few months or so. And then maybe we'll give you like some kind of signal to give News Channel 5, like rub your eyebrow or something whenever you're on camera or something like that.
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There we go.
We can do that.
Okay.
The podcast signal.
Yeah, yeah. Jeff Kreitz, he is your St. Francis County Sheriff and our guest on the Parkland Podcast. Boy, what a great year 2024 was for Discover Farmington. They had blues, brews, and barbecues. They had so many neat events, and they have big plans for 2025 too.
There's going to be a whole list of activities that will be taking place in 2025, not just in Farmington, but the surrounding area as well. And that's the beauty of Discover Farmington. They're not just here to promote Farmington. They want to promote the entire region because what's good for Farmington is good for Park Hills, is good for Deloge, and vice versa. So definitely check out their website, discoverfarmingtonmo.com. If you want to keep up to date on things going on in the area, these are the folks to deal with for sure.
DiscoverFarmingtonMo.com allows you to book a wedding or a day trip. And again, find out about all those great local events. Discover Farmington, sponsoring the Parkland podcast. Booze and Bark Carpet, Booze and Bark Trailer Sales, boozeandbarkflooring.com, the website, you know the name. They've been at it for so long, and there's a reason why they continue to do it and do it well, because they know what they're doing when it comes to those areas that they are experts in. And don't just take it from us. Other people have the same opinion.
Yeah, I'm on the boozeandbarkflooring.com website, and I'm reading some of the reviews. The whole process from start to finish was very easy. The countertops are beautiful. That was one review. They did a wonderful job with our granite countertops. I highly recommend them. Amazing work with Booze and Bark. Oh my gosh. Blair is very professional and an asset to her company. Beautiful place, quality flooring materials and installs. Brock was our salesman and was just fantastic, and I could go on and on and on. Don't take our word for it. Those are actual customers of Booze and Bark Flooring talking about how great they are.
Hey, great time to get that project started now to spruce up your home so it's nice and beautiful for the spring coming up when you have folks come over. So check out everything that you can get at boozeandbarkflooring.com and wave at us on the billboard.
Yes, I love that.
What's the thing you do? I think you like point or something.
Yeah, well, I don't know what we're doing, but
we're having a good time. So big thanks to boozeandbarkflooring.com. Go check them out today.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long, or pretzel, and probably not a churro. They also said under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. Then we said, but we already made them, and they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.
Let's discuss all things Farmington School District here on the Parkland podcast. We are joined now by Dr. Kyle Gibbs, the superintendent of the Farmington School District. And we're, year and a half now in this position?
Yes, officially in this position, although I was named over 2 years ago and started transitioning in. And so those 2 years have flown by in a lot of ways, and just a lot of growth and excitement here in the community. So it's definitely been a joy to be here. Just really an honor here in my career, maybe the final chapter. And so one of my first interviews was with Mark. I was named, and he called into my office. So it's been a roller coaster since then, and exciting. So definitely.
You wasted very little time in getting acclimated with the community. I've seen you at Help the Hungry Bake Sale. I see you at the Chamber of Commerce meetings. You really want to be a part of the community.
Yes, definitely. That was a priority. That was one thing I talked a lot about. I know that's important as a superintendent to be out in the community, engaging with the community. So I tried to get to know as many people as I could as quickly, and then have continued to grow those relationships over time. But the highlight of this is always getting to be at school events, be able to support our students and see all of the things they do. And I really try to, hit the spectrum of things. All the drama, choir, band, all of our athletic events. Of course, it helps that I have 2 kids that are involved in different things, one in the arts, one in athletics. And so enjoy supporting them, but enjoy supporting all the kids. And there's a lot going on all throughout the year that you can be a part of, and you can come out and support the nights.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, how are the wife and kids acclimating to Farmington now? Because as you said, they've got right in, got involved in those activities, and I think that helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's been good for our whole family. My wife teaches at the district. She teaches first grade, has enjoyed being part of Roosevelt and the team there, and jumped right in. My 2 boys that are still in school, I have one that's graduating this year, so graduating another one out, and he'll be an FHS graduate, so we're excited about that. And then we have one going into high school next year, and I have a daughter that's finishing a master's degree online, and she subs for us quite a bit, so she's in the school as well. And then my daughter that's in college subbed when she was home from Christmas break. So we've all been engaged with the district, and it's been good for us. And
we got a sub shortage, and this is proof right here. We're calling in family members.
I'm trying to help that out, so the best I can.
So we had two big winter events kind of come within a week, and I know it shut down all area schools for a long time. Was everybody ready to come back at that some certain point?
They definitely were. As I was out in the community, was hearing that, as you know, we were getting messages, school going to open. You know, it had been right back to back with the holiday break, and so definitely an extended break that we were glad to get kids back and get them re-engaged in learning, get the semester started, and you know, as you know, there's a weather event we're looking at for this week, so we'll see how that pans out. But hopefully nothing like that ice that we just could not chip away from the roads. It was really brutal to get that off, but the city was great to work with us and help us clear those really critical spots, so we could get back when we did, because we reopened ahead of some of the other schools around us that continued to deal with the challenges of getting that ice off the streets.
And things are different now, I guess, as school districts have switched to minutes. In the past, there was, you know, we got to make up all these days. And after, you know, a certain amount, the state would kind of, I think, forgive them. But we want to keep everything on track with summer school. And I guess the minutes allow us to do that, right?
Yes, our calendar was built to where we have enough hours and minutes that if we were to go over a certain amount of days, we go into a formula that sets us up for forgiveness. But because we built our calendar with so many hours beyond what is required by the state, we are clear. We don't have to add days on at the end of the year. So we are good in that regard.
And you don't want to have to mess with things like spring break and graduation, do you?
No, those definitely are set. People make plans for those. Families make plans to be out of town, and just when you start adding days back into the calendar, we see attendance not where we want it to be because of long planned events that we had scheduled for those days, or families had scheduled for those days.
So in addition to learning a new school district, to acclimating to a new community, let's throw a bond issue and a tax levy out there. And you have been extraordinarily busy collecting information, getting out and informing the public. I think one of the first things that I believe everybody that's in the school district received is a publication that kind of goes over the night way and some information about this. So, I mean, this is one of those things where the podcasters might just set the microphone down because there's something. No, we won't do that to you. But let's kind of start off with the overall, like, your elevator sales pitch for the bond issue and for the tax levy.
Yeah, so I did bring the copy. I believe these dropped in your mailboxes this week. It's really, I mean, it does have information that kind of overviews what we're working on as a school as a whole. That was something that my publications person and I had the heart to get out a long time ago. I'd seen those, and we had seen those at conferences where schools are contracting that out, and we do that all internally, then send it out to be printed. And so that's just to get the message out. And once we studied our population throughout the community and realized we have a lot of people that don't have students in school, and we want to tell them what a great school system they have. So it's really just to showcase our school, and that will go on. It started at the beginning of this year before this all launched. It'll go on afterwards, as long as Mindy and I and all of our team is working on that and just getting the message out. So you will find information in that kind of helped us to formulate the plan. So I'll talk a little bit about that. You'll see some demographic pages in there that we did a demographic study when I first came to really identify the needs of our district and where our district was going. And out of that study came a picture that showed that we're kind of at a plateau in our student enrollment. Some models show us, a little lower than others, but overall, just no real net gain at this point. People continue to slowly move into Farmington, but a little bit older population, not with students. So once we had that figured out, we realized that the talk about a potential new middle school was not really something we needed to pursue at this time. So we really started looking at all across the district what the needs of all the buildings were, meeting with our administrative team, our architect firm coming in and doing evaluations of each building, walking through with with our maintenance staff to identify areas of concern. And then we had focus groups, that staff group that came together. We had met with the Farmington Education Foundation, which is a group of members of the community outside of the district that weighed in on those, as well as sending out surveys and seeking information and sharing with it in board meetings and hoping people came to weigh in on those. So very comprehensive approach. So when that was all said and done, we're gearing up for the bond issue, as you mentioned, Jason, and where that was going to take us. And so once we identified all those challenges, and there's a series of projects, I'll hit a few of the more major ones, just as I'm kind of giving the rundown. But the high school, we've long since had crowding their classrooms in unconventional spaces, down in old locker rooms in the basement. As a matter of fact, your wife is in a basement area, and so
the dungeon,
the dungeon, as it's referred to sometimes, not so lovingly, but. And so a first floor addition a while back was designed for a second floor eventually. And so that is something that is in this plan. And once we put those 6 classrooms in place, that we wanted to do that, it opened up the situation where they said if you're expanding an educational facility, building codes from 2015 implemented for sure in 2018, and most municipalities are following those. Several schools around us are putting in storm shelters as we speak, that we would need to put a storm shelter. So we dual purpose that and are proposing a performing arts center and a storm shelter. And so that's a major upgrade at the high school that's taking place. So all of those 2 major renovations open up other spaces to be renovated inside and be made, inviting for our students as we move forward. Move over to the middle school. Another pretty major project is a classroom addition there that would be 3 classrooms and some other extra spaces that would house all the students during a storm shelter, would get students and teachers out of temporary classrooms. And then another major item there is the restoration project of Washington Franklin. So if you think of previous bond issues and what we did to just beautify Truman, you think of replicating that over to Washington Franklin and that historic building, and I would get a facelift right there on Washington Street as you head down into downtown. That building serves almost 400 students. It has for years. We studied that, realized that there's a lot of value and longevity left in that building, just if it's given the TLC it deserves. And then probably the other largest project is exciting for our athletic programs. It's a multi-use facility over at the East Campus. When we say that, we're referring to Lincoln Roosevelt and the middle school. And right there in the middle would be a full-size track, a football field, could also dub as a soccer field, practice areas for our students. They won't have to be bused across town for our track program. Our middle school football team would have a regulation-sized field to practice and prepare on. And our youth league programs that are always looking for space to practice soccer, football, would have access to that field at times when our sports programs aren't using it. And then, there's a long list. You can find it on our website. You can find it in any publications that are floating around out there of HVAC upgrades, roofing, parking, traffic flow, safety improvements, all the things that aren't super exciting to talk about, but we have to do them.
Yes.
And we have to stay ahead of them. So I guess that's my elevator speech on the bond issue, and that's Proposition F. 90 cents has been in place since 2011. It stays exactly the same, and it funds all these projects, extends our current debt out another additional 7 years beyond what it's currently supposed to be going out into the future. We've had voters that approved those bond issues in the past, and we've done a lot of projects with it, so it's just ongoing improvements to our district.
And I think this is a no-tax bond issue, no-tax increase.
It doesn't change the rate,
Doesn't change the rate.
No tax rate increase. So
Okay.
It does extend the bonds out. We issue the bonds out, so it extends the rate out 7 years beyond where it currently is set to go.
What has been the response when you've been out at different events or activities explaining the the issue that's going to be on the April ballot? What's been the response?
Yeah, so definitely I try to really stay on the informational side, and that's kind of the role I can land in as superintendent. Get a lot of positive response, and when I speak about the facts about it at all of the events that I've been able to share at, and I'm also going out into community events, not just school events, meeting with people, get a positive response. Never get booed off the stage, so that's good.
Yay!
I generally get applause, which sometimes is awkward because I'm talking about taxes, so you never that's never a very popular topic. So I know that probably the biggest thing that I'm hearing right now is the concern of the Performing Arts Center. So just to kind of address that and the facts behind it, it's dubbing as a storm shelter. The codes are in place to encourage us to put those at all of our campuses. So we only have 2 right now. We have one at Jefferson, we have one at Truman. The one at Truman serves Washington, Franklin. So we have 3 groups of student body covered by storm shelter, and this is our largest one over at the high school. 1,300 students, over 100 staff in that building. So if something came suddenly, or they would have that access to a storm shelter when they don't now. The Centene Center, we appreciate and want to continue to have a strong partnership with the city. That doesn't serve as a storm shelter, so we can't cross the street to have that if a storm came up. And then also there's events going on throughout the community that are great, and they use the Centene Auditorium, so sometimes that limits our scheduling. So this will just create greater flexibility to have it as a dual purpose, as a performing arts center. Our students will be able to go down there whenever to practice, to prepare, to have presentations, to have assemblies, to have college speakers come in to them. So a wide range of uses that we don't have a dedicated space for right now. So definitely that dual purpose behind that. And then, the storm shelter and classroom expansion at the middle school will cover those students. And then future phases, hopefully, we'll be able to continue to cover our buildings. And then I also wanted to clarify, Jason and I joked about the dungeon, the old locker room, but I've heard the information that because you'll see on the list, girls' wrestling room. So we're reclaiming those spaces that were intended originally at 1.4 athletics. Our girls' wrestling program continues to grow. We've had several accomplishments from those girls. We even had a girl that ranked in state last year, went to the state competition. I can't remember, Caroline was 5th or 6th, somewhere in there. And so just a great accomplishment. That program has started small, but it's tripled from where it was. And so those girls are in a very tight space, so we would be able to open up those classrooms that are down there in the dungeon and use that for the girls' wrestling room. And so those are the biggest things that I've kind of heard that people are concerned about.
So are these additions and upgrades, are these set to take the Farmington R7 School District well into the future?
Definitely. I feel like this is a proactive approach. Had we been in a situation where we built a new school, we would have had to not address a lot of these issues at our other buildings, just because so much of the funds would have been diverted to either brand new elementary, or that middle school would have pretty much taken the whole bond issue. We might have had to look at increasing it even more to cover that, because costs of building are so expensive right now. But HVAC upgrades at 4 to 5 campuses, multiple phases there to improve and address that. And that's not low ticket items. Roofing, efficient windows to improve efficiency across the district. And then I didn't even mention our bus fleet continues to age out. We've typically relied on bonds for that, and we would do a big improvement there. And those buses have gotten so expensive recently. Technology stretches our budget a lot, and so we rely on bond funds sometimes for improvements there. Infrastructure, cybersecurity, safeguards. We rely on our intercoms for safety, especially if there was an emergency event during the day. Those are aging out. So it's a proactive approach to getting ahead of those things. Right now, sometimes we're a little bit reactive to be like, okay, this goes down, and now what do we do? We want to make sure that before we continue to have these issues with aging components within our school, we update those and put us in a good position way into the future.
Mindy Southern, I don't know if she came up with this phrase, but she globbed onto it, and I think it helps explain. Bonds are for buildings, levies are for learning.
Yes.
So all those items, all those improvements are on the bond side. And again, that's not an increase. They're just extending out the bond an extra 7 years to finance all these big ticket items. Now let's talk about the levy side of things. Levies are for learning. If folks in the Farmington School District pass this levy, what are the advantages the district can do with these new funds?
Okay, yes, thank you for asking that. So 2 totally different pots of money. Our operating levy is at $275. That's the state minimum. About 10% of the schools across the state operate at that low level. And so you'll see graphics out there of showing us compared to our area. And then we have graphics also comparing us to schools the same size as us. And when I say that, I mean serving 3,500 to 4,500 students, somewhere in that range, which is where we land. And some of those schools have super high assessed valuations and then even a higher operating levy than us. And very few of the schools our size have the same or lower assessed valuation and operate at that $275. So that has stretched our budget over time, and we've been fiscally responsible and worked really hard to deliver great education and I think that's proven by just the accomplishments of our students and the pride that our community takes in our school. And we, just over the last few years, we've had a lot of increased needs with our students. And then as we're preparing students for all different levels to get out into the workforce and so forth, we've added programs, and that takes extra staff. And one thing is, in adding those programs, we have not kept at the same rate with pay that we want to. So you'll see graphics that show our starting pay is below 2 of our mineral area conference schools, and the same as Potosi. We're just a notch above some of the other schools. And then the state minimum is one of the lowest across the country, but it's at $40,000. So all of the schools are at least at that level, with some funding from the state that we don't have coming into our district because we were already above that state minimum when they set that. And then if you look at different parts of our salary schedule, experienced teachers, I'll just give you an example of if you earn a master's degree, work to beyond your bachelor's, keep getting credits and eventually earn a master's degree, and then land at 10 years of experience. And then we have something in our school called Career Ladder. It's an extra payment program for extra work that teachers have to do beyond contract time that actually takes us all the way down to 7th in our conference. And so the real major goal of the operating levy increase, I will definitely be honest that it's an increase, is to increase teacher pay, cover benefits, and support all of those programs that I mentioned have just stretched our budget over time. And we're looking into the future, and we're seeing where some of the funding might be going down in other areas, and knowing that we have to be competitive. We have to make sure we keep the classrooms staffed. It's a national teacher shortage, so there's a lot of things going on that play into this that make it a challenge to find teachers, where that wasn't the case 10 years ago when we weren't as concerned about staying as competitive as it is important to do so now when we're all competing for that small pipeline of teachers coming out.
The big thing is you want people to get out and vote. Don't just say, hey, we support you, and then stay at home on Election Day. You need people to get out and vote.
Yes, definitely. I'm here to present the facts, and they got to make the decision based on what they feel comfortable with, and just being transparent as possible about the needs of the district and what we will do with the funds and how those will be allocated. Were we to be successful with both of those issues, as Jason said, the bonds are for building. We can't take those funds and push those over to pay teachers more, and our operating levy increase is as much as it might sound like that 40-cent increase that people would see and how that would impact them. We have that all lined out on our website, so I encourage them to we'll be pushing out graphics about that. We want to be transparent about what that will, how that will impact each individual person. It generates $2 million. That sounds like a lot of money, but when we have so many staff, 4,000 students, we have these programs that are great for kids and serving kids, and need to we're just working towards closing the gap. We're not looking at catapulting us into some super high scale above our neighboring schools. We just want to make sure that we stay competitive.
Just one final thing from me. If approved, what will be the first thing you work on?
So on the bond side, on Proposition F, if it's approved, we just recently from our architect got a schedule that would show that we would start with the middle school, be less disruptive to learning over there because it's an add-on of 3 classrooms, won't impact the inside. Then next summer they would work on the inside and get all of those classes moved into there. And then a little bit behind that, they would start the sports complex over there. So that whole campus would get a focus first. And then that same summer of 2026, we'd move to Washington Franklin and try to knock that out all in a summer because that's existing learning space. And then we would have ongoing HVAC roofing things all throughout that process. And kind of the last phase would be the high school because that's the most massive project and is going to take the most planning because right now these are just initial plans to just be able to communicate the vision of what we feel like we need to do and not finalized. And then as far as Proposition S, if that passes, we won't receive that local tax support until the following like next January. But we would build our budget according to that, and it would primarily go to those pay increases, covering and keeping all the programs in place. So we would just build the budget around that and make sure that we are continuing to address the concerns we have with the challenges with keeping our budget in line.
Dr. Gibbs, I know there's lots of places to find information out. Again, the website, you got all kinds of graphics. People can go there and really dive into the facts as deep as they want to, right?
Yeah, on our website, it's kind of small at the top. I don't know if we can enlarge it. We'll look into that, but it says Know the Facts. And so if you click on that, it's going to take you right to a page where there is slideshow for Proposition F, and it shows you graphics for all of these building improvements. You can click through that explanation of those, kind of a high-level overview. And then on the opposite side of that is Proposition S, and it shows you some of the challenges we're dealing with that we have kind of hit us in the last few years with rising costs and just that gap getting larger between us and our area schools. And then it will show you a graphic exactly of where those expenses would go to cover. And then you could also look at then we have frequently asked questions. We have explanations under each one of those, and we continue to occasionally get a question. And so I'll work to get an answer out, and we'll get that posted there. And then we've been working on a series of videos throughout the entire year. We've cached all those into one area that you can click on. I'm continuing to work with Mindy, as you mentioned, to make more videos, but then my snapshot videos have also included updates. So, I definitely have tried to be out there communicating about this as long as almost I feel like as I've been here. And we mentioned that's been a year and a half. And so I think that's another thing that I guess has surprised me, that people are acting like we haven't been talking about this. This is at least in my world, it's been a big deal for a while.
Yeah.
So definitely wanted to get the message out. I have on February 19th, it's the day after the board meeting, coffee and conversation with the superintendent, and we look to try to keep those going into the future if we have a good turnout. Primarily, I will be discussing the bond and levy at that, so that's a daytime event. I leave 9 a.m. We'll look to do one in the evening. I'll be potentially speaking at the candidates forum, and then that's doing a virtual session as well in mid-March. And when we have our board meetings coming up, you're welcome to come to those. This board meeting that's coming up, we'll have our finance group that helps with the issuing the bonds to explain the bond side and the levy side. And we'll also have our architect to overview the work that's been done so far. So just really trying to get the message out and communicate as much as possible with people. So.
I want to ask you this, not related to these issues, because we've asked our local legislators about this, how it's going to affect the state. The Department of Education dissolving, from what I understand and what I've been told by our local lawmakers, is that funding will still be available. It'll just be awarded individually to the states. On the education side of things, what are you hearing, and how are you kind of bracing for what's going to be a pretty big change on the horizon?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is that it will be pushed out at the state level. And so hopefully as far as, I mean, a lot of our federal funding went to special education services, our title intervention, which for just clarification purposes is closing gaps in reading and math. And so with the state being awarded that money and how we've used it, and they've been a lot of part of monitoring that. When we have questions about title funding or SPED funding, we can generally reach out to the state and get clarification. So we hope that a lot of those, there will be continuity there, not a whole lot of disruption. Of course, I mean, there's so many things that we could talk about all around this. I know the open enrollment has been a big discussion for quite some time and kind of came to the forefront with Governor Kehoe's address. And, how could that impact us with touching smaller area schools and kids of, maybe eventually wanting to come to Farmington would make, Proposition F and the expansion and upgrades to our campuses even that more crucial if that were to happen and people were to want to come in to our district. So yes, there's a lot of things being talked about. I have legislative sessions that I try to tune into every week, and so obviously we're kind of still early in the session. A lot of things have been proposed. We're not sure what all will get through and how that will impact us at the state level, but we do hope that with the federal disbursements going to the state that we will still see quite a bit of continuity from what we had before.
Very good. We appreciate your time. We'll let you go. You probably have like a meeting with some people at one place and another to continue your quest to inform. But thanks so much for spending some time with us today and letting us put some information out there.
Yeah, thank you both for having me. It's great to be here.
All right, that's Dr. Kyle Gibbs. He is the superintendent of the Farmington School District, and he is our guest here now on the Parkland Podcast.
Parkland Pharmacy is out to prove that local independent pharmacy is alive and well. We work hard at giving you an excellent experience every time you come to see us. We love what we do, and we would love to take care of you. There's no need to be frustrated with your health care. If you're tired of what your pharmacy is not doing for you, then stop waiting in line and come see us today. We have 6 locations across Southeast Missouri, so Google us to find the store nearest you or visit parklandrx.com. Parkland Pharmacy is a local pharmacy at its finest.
Farmington, Missouri, your destination for a perfect weekend getaway. Dine in at one of our quality restaurants or visit one of our surrounding wineries. Farmington offers a variety of parks and other recreational leisure time activities. See some sights, have some fun, and go wherever your heart takes you. Sounds like a lot of fun, so get a room and stay a while. All this and more awaits you just 60 miles south of St. Louis. Discover Farmington today.
It's music time on the Parkland Podcast. The music segment was always cool before, but I love these 5 faves that we're going to do, man. I really am digging on this.
Yeah, it's good. I had to think about that one for a while. We'll get to that in a second, but first, albums, baby.
All right, what do you got?
Ian Hunter. This is the album Short Back and Sides. It's got some great songs on it like Lisa Likes Rock and Roll and Gun Control, which is just a fantastic song. Ian Hunter, best known as the lead man for Mott the Hoople.
He was Mott.
And the classic song Once Bitten, Twice Shy,
yeah,
which was redone by some hair band in the 80s.
That would be Great White, sir.
Is that Great White?
Yes.
They didn't do nearly as good a job as Ian did.
Yeah.
Love Ian Hunter. My brother Tom, who, by the way, has a new song out that we're going to be previewing.
Yeah, coming up next.
As well. So that's coming up as well. But Ian Hunter, one of my brother's all-time favorites. Ian Hunter's still alive, still doing it strong in his 80s.
Got a song of the week for us?
Song of the week, The Spirit of Radio from Rush.
Oh, yeah.
I love that song. It was their first top 30 hit, and it is a classic.
Absolutely. Spirit of Radio, always digging on the Rush. All right, I'll start off with the album. Let's go with Shooting Star. You better hang on for your life tonight. That is Hang On for Your Life, the name of the album. That was the title track. Great tune from this band, and I love the album cover too. Maybe this was one of their hotel rooms. This might have happened in real life. They might have, hey, we need an album cover. Let's film this in our hotel room, and then had some guy ride a motorcycle in there.
See, I was under the impression that Shooting Star was a band out of Kansas City.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe they're not British then.
I was wondering about that accent there.
Shooting Star. There you go, our album of the week. Song of the week. I heard this song earlier in the week and taking the kids to school, and my son was like, man, I really like that song. Was that the Piano Man? And I go, yes, that was the Piano Man. Billy Joel, the 1980 song Don't Ask Me Why, reached as high as number 19 in the Billboard Hot 100. I think what Jonas liked about it the most was like the little change in the middle with all the Latin percussion. And just a cool melody. And Billy Joel, I think, is kind of an underrated songwriter guy. Everybody knows about Piano Man. But I don't know. I just always thought this was a good tune. And the Glass Houses album is really good, too.
If you're going to have me pick out one Billy Joel song that was never really a hit, I would go with Travelin' Prayer.
Ooh,
you got to look that up off the Piano Man album. It is a fantastic tune.
What was the long one? Benny and Eddie were still going steady in the summer of 75. What's the name of that song? It was like a double song Billy Joel did. Anyways.
Sorry.
That's all right. All right. So 5 faves. 5 faves. So this week's prompts are top female-led bands and top 5 female acts. Mark, let's start with the bands. When I first started to sit down and do this, I had a little trouble coming up with bands, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm leaving off this one and this one and this one. Give me a 5 favorite female-led bands.
Oh, I just lost my place here. Okay, I would have to start off with, as soon as I get back to my list here.
Okay, we probably have the same one at the top, I believe.
No, I don't really have mine in any order.
You don't have it in any order? Oh, okay.
But a group that I really liked was Big Brother and the Holding Company. Because,
yeah, they had a pretty good one.
Yeah, Janis Joplin was the lead singer for a couple of albums there. Jefferson Starship. With Grace Slick. 4 Non-Blondes. I loved
I gotcha.
4 Non-Blondes. And one that I definitely got to leave in there was the Cranberries with Dolores O'Riordan.
Yes.
And Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I love rock and roll. I love that song a lot. And how can you not include Gwen Stefani in No Doubt?
There you go. That's some great ones. I had Heart number 1.
Heart's in there.
Absolutely. The Wilson sisters. Not only female lead singer, female lead guitarist, too, in that band in Heart. Blondie, great band from the 70s and 80s. Debbie Harry, you're not a big Blondie person? So, okay, let me ask you this Blondie trivia question, see if you know. A lot of people thought that Blondie was named after Debbie Harry and her big blonde hair. That's not the case. Do you know what the band Blondie is named after?
Blondie, the comic strip.
No.
I just made that up.
Oh, okay. Hitler's dog.
Okay.
Hitler's dog was named Blondie. So there you go. I had the Pixies at number 3.
They're good.
The Pixies, great 90s band, one of the big influences for Nirvana. Kim Deal, the bass player, sang lead on a lot of their songs. She went on to found the Breeders, who were a great 90s band. The Pretenders, Chrissy Hynde.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Middle of the road. Fleetwood Mac, for about maybe half of their existence, they had female lead singership, so you can kind of throw them in there. Stereolab, they're a French band that I used to listen to a lot back in the 90s with female lead singers. Mazzy Star, they had a one-hit wonder in 1995, the song called Fade Into You. Very, very cool song. And then Sixpence None the Richer. Do you remember them? One-hit wonder. They had the song Kiss Me.
Yep.
And,
good song. That's a good song.
It's a good song, good video, too. Now, top 5 female solo artists. The struggle for me was like, what genre am I going to go with? So I just kind of took one from each, and I don't know. I came up with 5. What do you got first?
Well, some of mine are going to repeat, but I love Carly Simon.
Sure.
Got to put Carly Simon in there. Got to put Linda Ronstadt in there.
And she was my number 1.
Yeah, she's very good. Carole King.
Yeah.
Maybe number 1. Mine are in no particular order because my list is fluid.
Yes.
Got to put Aretha Franklin
in
there as well. And I'm torn. I mean, Tina Turner was really good. Diana Ross was fantastic.
I'd had her right there too.
And Joan Baez is all in there. So I had a hard time just putting in top 5.
And did you have like a country person? Because I had basically the ones you said. Reba McEntire I was going to throw in there too. I just really like the sound of her voice. But is there a favorite country power, Carrie Underwood, Faith Hill, one of those ladies?
If I was going to put a favorite country person in there, it may have to be Emmylou Harris.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I love C'est La Vie and Never Can Tell and 2 More Bottles of Wine.
That's pretty good. And then, of course, Jessica Simpson was in my top 5. Not necessarily for her singing prowess.
Just because how she looked in Daisy Dukes.
Right, exactly. And it's real funny. I say a lot of jokes that go over my students' heads all the time, but like I'll be like our homeroom hour where it's just you kind of come hang out. I'll be like, where's Corbin Hoyd? And then all of a sudden he'll walk in the door. And so after that happens every time I go, where's Jessica Simpson? And nobody understands
don't know what you're talking
what
about.
I'm talking about, just hoping that she'll magically appear walking through my door. Do you even remember like any of her songs?
No, not a single
I don't
one.
either. She was she played the Super Bowl though. She was part of a halftime show one time.
I'll just go watch Dukes of Hazzard's movie.
There you go. So there's your music segment. Now we need to play you some brand new music, courtesy of your brother Tom. And Tom, one of our biggest fans of the podcast, of course, the creator of the theme song of our podcast, and he's got some new original music now.
Yeah, this is called Out of Darkness. He and a guy named Brian that my brother records with. You can find this on YouTube if you want and watch it. Just type in Out of Darkness song, and it'll be right there. But it's my brother Tom and his buddy Brian. It's a great, great tune.
And here it is now on the Parkland podcast.
Hi, my name's Tom. This is a song called Out of Darkness, something I started probably 18 years ago, but just ended up finishing up just last year in 2024. It's just kind of a salvation story, Jesus rescuing a drowning man. Going down for the last time, far away from the sunshine, reaching out for a lifeline to pull me to the shore. I saw a shape reaching for me, take my hand, he implored me. He pulled me up and restored me. How could I ask for more? Said I saw you in the distance, thought you needed my assistance. Then he spoke and I listened, began to understand. I said you saved me from ruin, from the things I was doing. Now you've made all things new and I won't go back again. When he pulled me out of darkness and it brought me into his marvelous light. Yeah, he pulled me out of darkness and it brought me into his marvelous light. I'm a whole new creation. My heart is full of jubilation. On the day of my salvation, the day he rescued me, the day he saved me from ruin, from the things I was doing. The day made all things new and it gave new life to me. And it pulled me out of darkness and it brought me into his marvelous light. Yeah, he pulled me out of darkness and it brought me to his marvelous light.
All right, that was really cool. It was good to see your brother too. I'd never seen him before.
Yeah, I guess I can no longer claim to be the best looking toady.
Well, I don't know if you ever did claim that, but great job. And how cool is that? And again, the link to the video is in the description, so you can check that out. Again, Tom, I feel like he's a part of the podcast, like he's on the staff.
He definitely is.
Yeah, very, very cool. All right, so what do we got going on for next week's show, episode 36?
Well, I believe we're going to be focusing in on the State of the County address.
State of the County address, talking to some of those folks, and then I think coming up in future episodes too, we're going to start
meet the candidates,
diving into these mayoral races, because we have some, of course, those contested mayoral races happening in Farmington, in Deloge, and in Park Hills, and so lots of interesting things coming on. And again, don't forget about the Heart of the Parkland.
Yes,
get on that Facebook post and make sure you can win something from Ike's Revival Florist and the Pasta House. Until then, I hope you have a great week. I hope your favorite team won the big game, and I hope it didn't ice too much.
Stay warm.
There you go. Thanks for tuning in to the Parkland Podcast.